would like to take this opportunity to say how happy and honored I am to be part of this morning's special event. Today marks a significant milestone for palm oil research in Malaysia, as we are here to launch the academic research on palm oil sustainability, or ARPOS network, an esteemed network of palm oil researchers who will work together in synergy towards impactful results from palm oil sustainable research. Thank you, Professor Dr. Sarang, for recalling the eventful event that we went through that day on May the 5th, 2010. People used to say, at a philosophical level, it is very easy to collaborate. When you bring big minds together, there will be synergy. Because after all, we are going to exchange ideas. What is the big deal about it? But as we discovered, myself and Dr. Sarang, it's not that easy. Because, pardon me for saying so, there is always a measure of suspicion with regard to each other. And perhaps, in a manner of speaking, there is a clash of ego. And when there is a clash of ego, we are not going to get very far. Because there will always be one-upmanship. One will try to outdo the other. I am saying all this, otherwise I wouldn't dare to say it, because it's behind us. But it took some time before they warm up to each other, because the warm up was a different kind of warming up. It was warming up to do better. But thank you also, Dr. Sarang. I think you did a great deal. I almost gave up. I said, this is not going to work. But somehow or other, maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants it to happen. And it has to happen with UK. And it did. Suddenly, somehow or other, unexplainable things happened. People just got together. And after that, as they say, the rest is history. So I would like to congratulate here Professor Dr. Sarang for your immense contribution towards the success of this. I think perhaps later on we can put down that in history, in the event that this one carries to its logical conclusion the research initiatives that we have done. I would like to mention that this initiative is indeed consonant with Sime Darby's tagline of developing sustainable futures. We have a problem handling this tagline because there were many distractors all over the place. But we welcome them as an opportunity to rise above all this. We know that RSPO has been a great challenge to us. And we know that we're going to rise to that challenge. We have been lambasted for many things. We take them in our stride. They say that we fell trees, but unlike in the West, we fell trees, but no trees now. Where in our case, we fell the trees, but we replaced with new trees. How why? And we also look after the orangutan. And we have Puan Yajila here, and she always appears in the Nature's edition of the Straits Times, showing how she looks after rhinoceros, trying to make a nice rhinoceros from two countries to mate with each other. It's the Sumatran rhinoceros, and it's a very ticklish affair and can have diplomatic consequences. Because the other side said that our male should not cross over. Your female should go over the other side. We thought that the male should come over and woo, our female. So this, well, we thought this is rather humorous, but this is really real. And we had to do all kinds of things in order to get the two to mate. Somehow or other, Yatila did the impossible. And I think, what's the name? That the rhinoceros, it appeared in the press. Now she has conceived. And I hope that we will have a baby rhinoceros. Both countries can claim ownership to the baby rhinoceros. But one thing that we know that at least we will be able to expand the population of the rhinoceros, which is a population of 2. The San Rabi Foundation, or Yayasan San Rabi, is the CSR arm of the San Rabi Corporation. The San Rabi Foundation is predicated on 5 principal pillars of concern, namely education, environment, community and health, youth and sports, and arts and culture. In 2010, Yayasan San Rabi formed a partnership with UKM to separately establish 2 chairs of excellence. One for the climate change and the other for sustainable development, the zero waste technology for palm oil industry. There's a history to this zero waste. And what happened was that we had all these attacks coming over from our competitors who felt that palm oil is not good for the environment. So at one meeting, our chairman, the illustrious Tun Musa, said that why not we do some useful work in this area. So you all have to think how best we want to do about palm oil. So we put on our thinking hat and we came up with one tagline. We call it zero waste. As you know, our palm oil industry, that we have the fresh fruit bunch that we collected from the palm oil trees. We bring it to our mill and we went through the process of crunching. Then we produce 1/5 CPO, but 4/5 effluent. We call that OME, palm oil meal effluent. The dark, murky kind of thing that is just like our lubricant when we drain after 10,000 miles. It's really dark. And this is the one that comes out and goes into our pond, which we dig, especially put into our pond. And we have many ponds, and they occupy so much space, 30 acres of them. And we thought that, given the porosity of the soil, it might find its way down and later find its way into the stream. We do not know. But probably, it might not remain as it is. And therefore, it might even pollute our rivers, even though we have no empirical evidence to show that. But we like to think as a worst case scenario. So we thought of the idea of zero waste. And we came up with the most challenging idea. The other of research is to challenge things. It's not to put in a low hurdle, but in a very high hurdle. So we say that nothing goes to the ground, nothing escapes in the air by way of producing carbon dioxide, methane, and other pollutants. So we thought of coming up with idea that why not, instead of us reinventing the wheel, instead of San Rabi coming up with this army of researchers, it will take some time for us. But we know that all research universities, they have institutional knowledge, they have all the expertise. Why not we tap the expertise of all the best brains in our universities and challenge them with this? So we send flyers to the 5 research universities and asked them to submit call for proposal to conceptualize the idea of zero waste by way of this so-called mantra. Nothing goes to the ground, nothing escapes. It's completely zero waste. And what we will produce are all the good things, using all whatever capacity that we have. So our professors from the 5 universities came up with a fantastic proposal. And it was difficult for us to choose. But somehow or other, there was one proposal that came from UCAM, which came very close indeed to what we really wanted. And they came up with a very fancy model. Because they really said that, yes, we can do it. It can be zero waste. Nothing goes to the ground by way of the black effluent. Nothing escapes into the air by way of carbon dioxide. Our country wants to reduce the carbon footprint by about 60%, 60% I guess. And this one will be a huge contribution to reducing the carbon footprint. So we were very attracted to that idea, because they say that there will be byproducts, which is very useful indeed, which is music to the ears of the corporation. The corporation will not do research for its own sake. It's only that the university to do basic research. But we want to do is something that will bring us returns. We are always concerned about ROE, ROI, and the rest of it. And the UKM model proposed that, we can produce hydrogen. And we can, keep hydrogen, even sell hydrogen. And we say that's good. And we can also, produce other byproducts, like organic fertilizers at a very cheap scale, because if it's very expensive, it's not viable at all for the corporation. So we said, hey, all right. We tapped UKM. We said, you got a job. I cannot say that after other universities, if I praise UKM too much, then people may say I'm citing from one side. But we chose the UKM, and we said, okay, this is a great model. We do not know whether it will work because we do not have the expertise. So why not we test out? Otherwise, as they say that we do not want to be the rural champion. As they say in Malaysia, jago kampung. So why not? If you're ready, we go over. And since we have relationship with the Netherlands, we have our fractionation factory in Rotterdam. So we went over to Netherlands. Are you prepared? They say yes. We are very confident in our model. We work through it. It's going to work. So I say, okay. We were not quite sure whether it was going to work, but out of respect, there's always that kind of doubt. So we went over to the Netherlands and presented to the scientists in the Netherlands, and the scientists said, hey, this is something very interesting. It can work. And we managed to get the excitement of Professor Klassen, and she said she's also been working on this zero waste by way of potato peel and to produce byproducts. So this one, we can put our things together. And we tapped over a job, why not you be the first person to occupy, our chair of sustainability on zero waste. She said yes, the rest is of course history. And here we are. We like a lot of people to work on this, and if we can make a breakthrough in this, I think perhaps, if I may say so, it'll be a great boon for palm oil, in the sense that, that 4/5 millions and millions of tons that goes every year to that, we convert them into something that is fantastic. That's wealth creation, rather than creating degradation to the environment. So this is indeed a fantastic initiative, and we are very excited about it at Sangari. And we have managed to, as they say, that you scale up, in the corporate sector. You not only go in the lab scale, but also to go to the industrial scale. And here, we are not only working at the Science Derby Foundation, we scale up to go to the plantation. And our plantation is also excited about it, because it will mean fantastic things that can happen. As far as we are concerned, we want to get a lot of excellence. And our palm oil, brings in more than 50% of the revenue of Science Derby. And this goes to the government by way of tax and pays everybody's salary. And so if Science Derby makes it, everybody will be happy, and the country will be prosperous. So Science Derby saw it fit to invest substantial amount of funds, totaling 20 million ringgit into the endowment funds of both chairs, since we saw their huge potential to benefit the nation and the world. This support falls within two of our pillars, namely education and environment. Through our funding for the activities of the UKM Yayasan Science Derby Chair on climate change, Yayasan Science Derby aspires to provide leadership and a platform for coordinated efforts and resources in climate research and related issues in Malaysia and Southeast Asia. The first shareholder was Dr. Park Sam Lau from Bond University, Australia. And the second shareholder is none other than our own very illustrious Professor, Dr. Saripah Mastura. On the other hand, the UKM Yayasan Science Derby Chair for Sustainable Development, that is the zero waste technology for palm oil industry, aims to lead and direct research that is relevant to palm oil industry by turning palm oil mills into green factories, which are not only carbon neutral, but also generate a negative carbon footprint. Zero waste implies that the future production of palm oil will dispense no waste to the air, ground, nor to the river. The first shareholder is Dr. Klassen from Wageningen University. The chair also has a collaboration with Science Derby Plantation. These chairs are examples of collaborative innovation and foster close relationship between the industry and university, while recognizing the importance of public-private partnership. It is also equally imperative for academicians and researchers to build and maintain an influential network that allows them to contribute to the society by pushing for national policy changes and the implementations in industry through their impactful research work. The ARPOS network gathers academicians and researchers from top universities and research institutions in Malaysia to share their research on oil palm sustainability, as well as its related fields. Today, I understand that we have representatives from more than half of the top Malaysian universities who are desirous to share their research initiatives and what they have achieved so far. This is something that has never occurred before anywhere in the world for palm oil. Currently, many of you academicians and researchers carry out your own research activities in your respective fields of interest in various aspects of the palm oil industry. But there are very few, if any, collaborations among universities and together with the industry. This limits our opportunity to have a holistic view and understanding on current research, and there are duplications and gaps pointing towards issues within the palm oil industry. This hinders our ability to generate new and innovative solutions in order to address environmental, societal, and economic problems. With the ARPOS network, opportunities will be provided from us to learn about new methodologies and research approaches for the palm oil industry. Via information exchange and collaborative research programs. This network also opens doors for more sharing, not just in terms of real-time data and knowledge, but also the potential to capitalize on each other's latest laboratory facilities and equipment, as well as field research methods. This important network also provides available training ground and exposure for our young researchers. With collaborative research in the ARPOS network, unnecessary repetition in research is avoided, while sound replication of experiments and trials to verify results are a standard and a necessary procedure in science, and redundancy is a luxury that only a few can afford. Time is precious, and it is only enhanced with quality collaborative research. Results can be achieved much more quickly with collaboration than if academicians and research workers work independently of each other. In addition, a wider array of environments is sampled, a greater exchange of knowledge and ideas is achieved, and a broader dimension of research efforts accomplished. Although collaborative research may not always lead to immediate breakthroughs or payoffs, jointly planned research has a better chance of achieving success. The ARPOS network can be the conduit that brings together academicians and researchers to share information and sustainable practices related to palm oil researchers and sustainability with ministries, government agencies, and corporate bodies. Clearly, working together as one will strengthen its position as a mover and shaker in the industry. As well, this network will not only be able to lobby for policy changes and push for reform in the industry where needed, it will also open up greater avenues for funding from the main players in the industry for more research. If you can prove to the industry that you are a force to be reckoned with, I am certain that the money will come. The industry needs you as much as you need them. Non-government organizations from all over the world love generalizing and accusing the palm oil industry for not being sustainable, which is very unfair. I must say, Malaysia is already doing so much towards sustainability in palm oil productions. Of course, there are many good planters, but there are also some bad ones. Ultimately, this network can help the situation by winning over with research proving with empirical evidence that being sustainable does not necessarily mean less profit for all palm oil producers. Whether we like it or not, the palm oil industry is the most important sector in the Malaysian economy. It has created wealth for the country and brought us as close as we are today to earn the developed nation status. You are our chance to make this win-win situation, for us to reap all the benefits that come with the industry while ensuring that it is sustainable for future generations and cause little or no damage to the environment. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank the committee of the two-day symposium, the first ever for the network, who have worked really hard to make it happen. The committee includes the two YSD UKM chairs, the MPOB UKM chair in oil palm industry development for sustainable economy, and the UTM Palm Oil Center of Excellence University Technology Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. Let me reiterate how proud we are at the Science W Foundation to be able to be part of this initiative, and of the fact that our chair was the key initiator of this network. I look forward to all the great things this network will achieve.